All right, welcome everyone. So we're here for the live stream of Ditch the Diets, how to change your relationship with food that finally feels like freedom. All right, so I'm going to take a big leap here and just figure that everyone who's with us now or watching later has at some time been on a diet, let's say for weight loss. Is that right? I'm thinking yes. You can say
Yes, yes,
yes.
yes, yes, yes.
All right, just out of curiosity, you can type this in the chat because I'm kind of curious to see what types of diets have you tried just for fun? I mean, for me, it's been, oh gosh, I did Jenny Craig, I did Weight Watchers, I did Juice Cleanse, whatever that was. Oh, Paleo and Vegan, yeah, okay. Actually, those are good to experiment with. Yeah, two separate times. Well, I hope at two separate times. Uh, um, let's see. Intermittent fasting. Yeah, okay. Um, yeah, I was thinking more, like a program, like I mentioned. I mean, Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, anything that's like a program that you follow that is for a particular, not forever, but for a particular time to achieve a particular purpose. I mean, it's just, yeah, no sugar, no carbs. Ooh, forever? Wow, that feels rough. Calorie counting. I can't even tell you. When I was a kid, I had a little book that gave you a guide to calories. What were we thinking? I was just a kid. Well, anyway, so quite a few. It's kind of nutty. So, you know what? Why so many? Most people go on multiple diets, especially for weight loss during their lives, and yet they are probably still looking for ways to drop excess weight. So, if you feel like you might have a clue, like what is the problem, then go ahead and type that in the chat. Like, why aren't people having long-term success with these weight loss diets? Like specifically, we can just stay with that. So any ideas? Oh, yeah, that's one of my favorites, binge watching. All right. No. Ah, yeah. Okay, that's interesting. If you're always seeking weight loss, you're never going to be satisfied. Well, I guess that's true. Yeah, it's kind of that thing that we chase. But yet some people, they're looking for like particular, you've probably known lots of people, even if you yourself haven't been wanting to lose weight, you probably know a lot of people who have. So you can kind of appreciate that they just don't always get what they want. So anyway, what is the problem with most diets, really? Consider this. In a diet, you get some kind of a plan, right? So we know what to do, right? But there's a big gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it. So even if you're able to kind of stick to whatever that plan is for a short time, what about the long term? Now, did you know most weight loss diets fail about 98% of the time? So if you're in or if you've been in that 98% like me, it's not your fault. And you're in the right place to get help with that. And in case you don't already know me, I'm Julianne Wutke. I used to be a serial dieter most of my life. I remember going to my mom's Weight Watchers meeting when I was only like in fourth grade because I felt like I was chubby. I was very self-conscious about my body and my eating, and I thought there was something wrong with me. I just never could understand why other people could be so carefree about food. I didn't get it. As an adult, I just always seemed to be losing and gaining the same 25 pounds or so for years. And by the time I got into my 50s, and I was also dealing with menopause, I had finally just had it, right? I had enough and I was ready to make some real changes. So I got some help. I got mentorship, I educated myself, and I just kept practicing what I was learning. I managed to drop about 45 pounds. I built muscle strength, and now I feel better than ever. I realized, though, that I wasn't the only one. Millions of people out there, especially women, also needed help. And that's why I became a certified health coach, so I could help others make real and lasting progress. There is so much that we could get into on this particular topic, and I'm going to share as much as I can in the short time we have today. There are also ways to work with me for those of you who want to go further. All right, so let's get going. In my practice, I touch on like about 9 foundational pillars of vibrant health. And food, or how we fuel and nourish our bodies, is right up there at the very top. Now, I've found that that's also where people tend to have a lot of challenges. So it's a great place for us to start. And for the purposes of this talk, we're just going to focus on changing our relationship with food. So we're going to stay on that topic, and I hope that you take away something that might help you think about food in a different way if you're having challenges. All right, so today we're going to consider 3 basic ways of eating: what we eat, how we eat, and even why we eat. Let's go. All right, so what we eat. This is the practical information. This is the stuff we probably already know. We all have a sense of what foods are generally considered healthy or what we can tolerate, a general sense of that. So, um, yeah, what foods we can eat, what foods to avoid. For example, choosing whole or fresh foods and avoiding packaged or highly processed foods. But here's a question for you. Have you ever eaten too many chips, snack crackers, or cookies? And it's almost like you couldn't stop yourself, right? I'm going to share something now that most people don't know. Your taste buds are being hijacked. Those chemical flavorings and the other ingredients that get added into packaged foods are really designed to do that, to hijack your taste buds so that you crave them and you eat more. Ugh, I couldn't believe it when I found that out. But here's the good news. Even if you've been like a real junk food junkie, just eating more real, fresh food will help you recover your real sense of taste pretty quickly, often within days. And when you can really start tasting your food again, you're a lot less likely to binge on those highly processed foods. Another thing most of us pretty much know that we would probably want to avoid added sugar. Now, sugar comes in several different forms and names on most food labels. Even fruit juice, if you see that on a food label, is an added sugar. So we know we probably should avoid those. Avoiding common foods that most people don't tolerate well. This might be a surprise to some people. It was to me years ago when I found out. You may be surprised that an estimated 70% of us have some level of intolerance to dairy products. Even wheat products made with flour sometimes are not tolerated well by many people. Products made from corn can actually trigger inflammation in some people. Everyone is different. And there's a very simple way to discover if you might not be tolerating any of these foods very well. We'll get to that a little later. All right, second one, we covered the what we're eating. Now let's talk about how we eat. Some people might call this mindful eating. So you could be eating the most nutritious, healthy food on the planet, but if you're not practicing the how to eat, you're really missing out. So examples of how to eat. First, slow down when you eat. I know many of you have heard me say that before. Most people eat way too fast, and we don't digest food well unless we are in a more relaxed state. So sit down, appreciate your meal, whatever the meal is, and chew your food well. That's the first part of digestion. Um, Another part of mindful eating is hunger and fullness cues. So we all get busy, but really don't wait until you are extremely hungry to eat. That doesn't usually work. That often leads to making poor food choices and eating too much, too fast. Another mindful eating tip, this is a big one. Eat until you're about 3/4 full or about 75% full. It takes roughly about 20 minutes for the sensation of fullness to actually register in our brain. And 20 minutes later, your future self will thank you if you just wait and see how you feel in 20 minutes. Oh, this is a big one. And I think, Aria, you kind of made note about this. Avoid distracted eating. Ever been sitting in front of the television set and had a bowl of popcorn or chips just kind of magically disappear? It's happened to all of us, I think. So our meals and snacks are so much more satisfying and enjoyable when we're not trying to multitask or when you're not distracted. All right. So those are the first two, the what we're eating, the how we're eating. And now here's one that goes maybe a little bit deeper. It's the why we eat. It's more of an intuitive eating tool that I'm going to talk about now. So the third way, of course, is what's behind our relationship with food. And this is how we can also become a little bit more aware of why we're doing what we're doing with food, how we eat. So, ever had that experience of eating when you're bored or frustrated or sad or just procrastinating? I think we all have. Procrastinating, that was my favorite one. But we don't, when we're in that moment, we don't really think about it at the time. It's just a habit. And we find ourselves standing in front of the refrigerator when we're not hungry, right? So here's something you can start practicing. Next time you feel kind of a trigger to eat when you're not hungry, and again, you find yourself in that situation of being in front of the fridge or wanting to stop by the store for something that probably isn't a good food choice, something like that. Whenever you feel that trigger, just take a pause, take a breath, step back, and ask yourself, huh, be curious. Well, why am I doing this? I'm not hungry. Why am I standing here in front of this food? Why am I thinking about this? Um, was it some kind of an old hurt or some other uncomfortable feeling that you have? And also ask yourself, okay, well, if not food, what do I really want right now? Right? So maybe I want something else to comfort me, and it's not food. So we can start practicing doing something else rather than turning to food when we get triggered. And you may not know all the answers, but just bringing some awareness to your feelings around food or your feelings that, cause you to fall into the habit of eating when you're not hungry, that really helps you, just being aware. And once you become more aware, you can practice choosing something else to do rather than eat that will really make you feel better right away. You could go for a walk, call a friend, make some tea, or simply just do a task, that takes your mind off of it. Anything. So just have something else in your back pocket, so to speak, when those situations come up. It makes a big difference. All right, so you can use these three ways of eating together, these ideas. They work together to support a more natural relationship with food. So no matter which of the areas you start with, the what you're eating, the how you're eating, or the why you're eating, one will automatically support the other two. Give you an example. I have a client, one of my early clients, and she told me that she just couldn't manage to stay away from sugar. She felt like it was her one big addiction or her big Achilles heel, really, and it held her back from making progress in her quest to drop weight and to really feel good in her body. She would get away from craving sweets for a time, and then eventually she would just go right back to them. So nothing really changed long term. So we started with the what. That was easy, right? In the past, you just avoid the obvious sugar foods. But beyond that, we also talked about other sugary foods like junky food made with flour. I explained why eating those foods can actually help you crave sugary foods even more. So the more you eat the sugars and the foods that are highly refined, the more you want them. So that, just like cleaning up a little bit of the what we're eating, helps support the how we're eating. You can, with that, with that practice, just getting away from some of those real trigger foods for her, she could start practicing eating slowly and mindfully, noticing when she was about three-quarters full, and then stopping. This is definitely going to help her feel more satisfied, help her be more nourished, and even help even out her blood sugar a little bit better to reduce her craving for sweets. Now that, the how, also supports the why. So when she's not in that blood sugar roller coaster, always wanting to go for the sugary stuff, and she's eating more nourishing foods, she's not necessarily reacting all the time to low blood sugar, and she's not a lot less likely to give in to poor food choices and the constant snacking. And when she feels better, has more consistent energy during the day, she is probably better able to deal with that old habit when it comes to going for food when she feels triggered. When she finds herself looking in the fridge when she's not hungry, she is better able to pause, step back, and maybe ask why. Be curious about what the uncomfortable feeling was that she had. Maybe, who knows where that might have come from, and maybe do something else rather than eating. So you can see that those three things, they kind of work together. You can start anywhere. You can start practicing them in any order throughout the day. And remember, practice makes progress. Do not try to be perfect. We are not little robots. This is not to be about instant fixes, and those just really don't work. You need to be patient and kind to yourself on your journey. So remember that. Yeah, practice makes progress. That's pretty much the best thing I could say about that. Nothing is instant. There's no snap your fingers and wish something away. It takes a little bit of practice. So I'm going to tell you about one of the best ways to learn what really works for you, because again, everyone's different, and start practicing these three ways of eating, right? So some of you already know I offer a seasonal 5-day reset for beginners, and our summer program is coming up next month. The summer 5-day reset runs this coming July 14th through 18th. It's a simple, supportive program designed to gently reset your body while really getting to eat the vibrant flavors of summer. We focus on just whole foods, nothing out of a box, out of your probably out of your freezer section, just whole foods. We have all kinds of things that we get to eat during the summer that are so delicious. And if you're finally ready to ditch the diets, this is a great place to start. So we offer recipes if you like that feature really light, satisfying meals with extra protein and fresh produce, whole grains. There's a step-by-step guide to help you move through the reset with a lot of ease and confidence. Daily checklists, if you like, if you're a checklist person, and meal suggestions if you want some meal suggestions, and shopping lists so you can kind of skip the guesswork and focus on feeling amazing. So there's all kinds of mindfulness tips, movement tips, detox tips, all kinds of things. If you're over 50, really this program is a must for those of us who would, now we're thinking about sort of reversing that aging clock. And if you feel like you've hit a weight plateau, which a lot of people do, this is a great way to move past it and feel better than you have in a long time. So in 5 days, most people who have been doing this with me for over the past several years feel lighter, less bloated, less sluggish, get a boost in their energy. It improves their digestion, and really one of the best things, it starts to reset your habits. So it's not a diet, it's really just kind of a practice. It's a little not even difficult to do. So it's a little bit of practice in treating your body that the way it wants to be treated, stepping away from some of the foods that might be trigger foods that generally don't work for a lot of people. And then you get one-on-one support and coaching with me as well. So that's a lot of fun. Now, normally the reset rate is about $157 to participate in the summer program, but don't pay that. That's only if you wait till the very last minute, and I really don't want anyone waiting till the very last minute to get in. If you register now, you can actually save $60 and get it for only $97, and that's through July 12th, just the next couple of weeks. So I have an information page you can go to get registered. I'll put that in the chat, and a lot of goodies also that are kind of a surprise, and a few extra bonuses just from me to you. So let me go ahead and stick this in the chat. And I'm also going to send a follow-up to email to everyone who's here today. And here we go. Hopefully everyone can see that. Anyway, the follow-up email to everybody will include this as well. So if you're not able to copy and paste or click on it now, that's okay. Don't be scrambling. I really appreciate all of you who took the time to be here with me. And I have another little surprise for you in this email I'm going to send you. It's a special coupon code to save an extra $20 just for you. And I will say that the $20 savings coupon will only work through the end of the day this Friday, June 27. So by this coming Saturday, it's gone. It's just a little something special because I really appreciate you guys being here live. So if you want to start practicing exactly what we've been talking about today and get some guidance and support along the way to really move the needle and make progress on your relationship with food and your health journey, I recommend you get registered and get July 14th through 18th on your calendar and join us this summer. Changing our relationship with food is really all about practice. And again, remember, we are not trying to be perfect. It is a journey, and just be patient and kind to yourself along the way. All right, so I'm going to end the recorded version now. And let's see if I can do that. Here we go.